Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 Reunion Part 1.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We miss y'all. It's been a while since we talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm ready to get into this reunion. But before we get into it, Blair, 2 questions.
Yes.
First part of the reunion, who was the winner? You pick one winner and one loser. One winner so far out of the cast.
Winner, Drew. Loser, Porsha.
I go winner, Drew. Loser, Kelly. I think the more I learn about Kelly, the more that make me go,
Okay.
That's interesting. You ready?
Yes.
Walk us through this, please.
So we get there. Of course, Britt isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Portia calls her. She doesn't answer.
Yeah.
They were supposed to start at 9. The ladies don't start coming out until 11:30. And who was last? Drew.
Yeah. Drew always got to make an entrance.
So the reunion starts, and Andy does make the announcement that Britt is not coming. Kelly thinks that Britt plays victim and villain at the same time.
Okay.
Porsha spoke to Britt last night. She even said that her husband was coming to the show. They was having a kiki about which men weren't coming or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew said that Britt apparently is filing a lawsuit against her because she was upset about a blog about Kenya's poster board and things that were shown.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that was more lip service because I try to look for that lawsuit. I only lawsuit I see is the one with Bravo.
Yeah.
I don't really see the one with Drew.
Yeah. And I will say, I was thinking to myself that it would have been nice for Britt to be there to actually be held accountable.
Yeah.
But now that it's kind of getting fleshed out, I'm actually happy she's not there.
How
to
so?
be honest. Because I don't think Britt ever has great communication in her comebacks or in explaining herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we probably got more out of the conversation about Britt without her being there than actually her being there and yelling and standing up and yelling about different things instead of what we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
So.
If I wanted Britt to be there,
Mm-hmm.
it would say only to address Kelly. I think what happens is when you are, let this be a lesson because I tell people this all the time. We just cannot, whenever crazy people talk, we just can't just be like, oh, they crazy, I don't believe them, right? I think some things Britt say, especially dealing with Kelly, are true.
Yes.
But the thing about it is your character has led us to believe that a lot of things you say are lies and dramatic and really just comebacks, right? So I only would want her to be there to address Kelly and their relationship because I'm sure there's some things she know that we would not know because Kelly not going to tell on herself about their relationship. Literally everything else, she can walk off the stage and we don't got to talk about Kenya. We ain't got to talk about Porsha. I don't want to know nothing else about Kelly. Not Kelly, Britt's life, except the friendship that have to do with Kelly.
That's fair. Porsha sets her intention for the reunion. She feels like she's in a good place now, and she wants to approach each lady with truth to either move forward or close the door.
Ooh.
And that's why my sign says, does Porsha know what truth is?
She already lying.
Because as we get into the conversation, not saying she's lying, but I'm saying that you're not really being completely forthcoming.
She's not.
So to me, that's a lie. Omission is a lie to me. But I guess the Porsha, omission is fine, but she ain't gonna outright lie. So.
Oh yeah, and by the way, don't think I don't see you, Shamea. Why are you sitting down with your face so long? Just when we was reviewing the last episodes of this season, you was over there, I got my best friend back and all that stuff, dancing, things like that. Now you just sad.
Yeah.
What you sad about? Let's keep going.
So Cynthia joins the ladies. We do get Porsha's segment. It was supposed to be her happily ever after, but we see the meetings with the divorce lawyer, drama with Dennis and Drew, and her cousin passing.
Yeah.
Porsha and Simon agreed to do a prenup. Apparently, he bought the home before her, but the prenup made it a marital home, and she wants to maintain the home because that's something that she got out of the divorce. Yeah. And it is a beautiful house. I mean, goodness gracious.
The only problem I have with that, per se, is Andy, the statement that you said to lead this segment is you finally got the film in your house. Yeah. No, she didn't. Right? Filming was over. Right? And then just so Porsha can have a good edit, we go see her walking on a treadmill or running on a treadmill in her room just for an excuse to show the house. The house wasn't featured in the season, meaning like people wasn't coming over to your house, or basically wasn't a scene. It was basically like post edit. You know what? Okay, things are good. Let's bring the cameras back out. We go do this little shot with Porsha and her mother. But let's not make it seem like, oh, you finally got to film in your house. No, not. I mean, semantics. Technically, yes, but technically, no.
Porsha was talking about her situation with the divorce. She went to court. It wasn't done. Just pretty much like Kelly's situation. And Kelly whispers to Drew, our divorces are not the same.
Yeah.
Simon is detained by ICE because he didn't have citizenship. And Shamea is talking about how they all knew each other. They went on couples trips together. And Shamea asked Porsha to make sure pretty much everything was on the up and up with Simon before she got married.
Yeah.
And Porsha said that it took 9 months to do the prenup. She did her due diligence. This is where Porsha's relationship with the truth gets tricky.
Help me.
Doing a prenup is not the same as doing due diligence before deciding to marry a person. That's doing due diligence to make sure you get something out of a divorce versus actually seeing if this person is someone worth your time and energy to marry, and if they are who they claim to be.
Yeah.
So,
but she ain't
Porsha's relationship with the truth is very interesting.
But
to watch.
she did her due diligence, because once she realized that it was Simon, and Simon was with that woman and things of that nature, and she saw, oh, he got this house, he got this money per se. Oh yeah, that's the only due diligence I need to do. What can I get out of this?
Yeah. Not
so much of who he is and his character. Is he a man of his word? Is he legal? She did not care about that. She's like, while you're here, what can I get out of you? You know.
So of course it's brought up when Kelly asked Porsha, why you take that woman's man?
Of course.
And Kelly says she was asking out of concern, but the answer Porsha gave was pretty much she loved him, but Kelly didn't think it seemed real. Porsha says Kelly agreed. You know, they had a conversation that both of their husbands were dragging them publicly.
Yeah.
They were dealing with the same things in the divorce, and Kelly makes it clear, I was with my man for 11 years.
That's right.
You was with yours for 11 months. It is not the same. Why would you? Oh, anything to say about that?
No. I have nothing to say.
I would say that I agree with Kelly. Like Porsha, and then Porsha does make the statement that, oh, okay, my divorce doesn't mean anything. Oh, it kind of don't. Just in the sense that you've got people like Kelly and Drew who've had children with these men that were their husbands. Yeah. They are actually having to like go through a divorce, split things that they've built together. They didn't have a prenup when they came in because they didn't had nothing when they came in. They had each other when they came in. And so this is a completely different situation. And I get that Porsha was trying to compare just the public scrutiny that they were getting with their husbands just being out and vocal. But I think that Porsha does herself a disservice to try to compare the fact that they're going through divorces. Yeah. Maybe Porsha's first divorce is more like theirs, but even then you're not dealing with children, custody, home ownership. Like this is a lot that these women are going through. So it doesn't compare.
Porsha is just doing words to match. That's all she's doing. She said, you're going through a divorce, I'm going through a divorce. That's all. That's the only similarity that she sees, is that they both can say divorce. Yeah. That's all.
The question is asked, why would Porsha say she would F Angela's husband?
Oh, but we getting straight to it now.
Porsha says that, you know, honestly, I will apologize again to Angela, but Angela did apologize to me because she brought up the fact that I stole Simon away from the lady. And Angela said, well, first Porsha made the comment about knowing something about Charles, and that was Angela responding to her. Shamea did say in Nashville she introduced Porsha to Simon. We get a clip. And Shamea also says she never said that. They met in the DMs. Andy asked Porsha, did Shamea introduce you to Simon? Porsha pauses. And then she says no. So they ask her again, so did you not? Like, what's with the pause? What does that actually mean? And she's like, the point is, I got introduced to him. I got him. I gave him back. That's about it.
No, that's not the point.
I wonder what it means when Porsha sets an intention.
And here's the thing, right? Maybe the reason why I think it's easy to view Porsha as the loser of the first part of this reunion, if you actually think any highly of her. But because I expect Porsha to show up as Porsha, there's literally nothing Porsha can do to surprise me. Yeah. I told y'all something episodes ago, months ago. I said, don't be surprised with this whole Shamea and Kelly friendship that Porsha may take it to hell and actually bring her husband, talk about Kelly's husband, ex-husband on the show, or do something weird with the ex-husband, things like that. And people be like, oh no, that's too far. Porsha will never go that low. I said Porsha will go to hell with it. So even this statement right here, was I surprised by this scene right here? No. Number one, Shamea and Porsha beefing in real time, right? And number two, like Porsha don't care. Porsha don't stand for the truth. Cause my thing is, she could have easily, at the moment, just say
how'd y'all meet?
How do y'all get together?
Yeah.
But she just choose to basically let Shamea drown.
Yes.
And basically Andrew's like, you said this. And Shamea's like, I did not say this. We saw the clip and Shamea did not say that. I can see how Angela can interpret as if that's what she meant, but Shamea did not say that. So if we want to give a point to Shamea, we can. But like the whole idea of just letting them argue about it, when you know the truth, Porsha.
Exactly. How did you beat this man?
Like it makes no sense, and she don't surprise me at all. You know.
Porsha was protective of Dennis because she needed her co-parent while dealing with the stress of this divorce.
Listen, Porsha.
What are we talking about?
She's funny to me. I'm sorry.
Like, Dennis is not your man.
No.
He's not your ex.
Mm-hmm.
His responsibility is to his child.
Yeah.
But Porsha wants to have the emotional support of Dennis through the episode and through her divorce.
Yeah.
As a co-parent.
Yeah. You heard it.
I don't know. So Drew was saying, yeah, all in that man's house, talking about Simon's house.
Yeah.
So Drew said that Porsha's return was a flop, which she stands by. There was a lot to talk about in Porsha's life, but she chose to attack Drew instead.
Facts.
Porsha tells her you should be worried about Ralph and who he's flip-flopping in the basement. And Drew says, well, Simon says you had no storyline.
Dang.
Porsha says that Dennis is part of her family and Drew put herself into the storyline.
Every scene that I seen with Drew, I seen her intentionally try to take herself out of the Porsha storyline.
Yes.
With the whole, hey, I tried to text, I tried to call her, she did not answer. Hey, me and Dennis are not sleeping together. But yet you over here talking about, oh no, it's not Dennis, it's Black. It's like you keep introducing storylines for me when I already got this storyline that I'm trying to do myself with this whole divorce thing with Ralph. Divorce, kind of not divorce, I'll let y'all decide. But it's like, Porsha, you kept bringing Drew into your mess because you did not want to talk about your mess. But yet, when the season was over, you had no problem talking to People magazine and things of that nature. And truth be told, it may not be apples to apples, but it may be apples, or maybe it may not. It may not be apples to apples, but it may be oranges to tangerines. To where, hey, this is kind of the same thing Robin did. She hid her real life from her real show, her real job, and at the end of the day, guess what? We pay you a lot of money, Porsha, to talk to us.
Yes.
Not to go take your story so they can print it out or show videos about it on like another establishment. So even though it may not be apples to apples, it's definitely fruit to fruit.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Drew and Dennis were working together. That was Drew's life.
Yes.
Porsha brings up the text how Dennis was saying that I'm not going to sleep with you for money. And Cynthia does pipe up and say that Drew did put herself in that situation and it was a lot. I just don't agree.
Yes, Cynthia.
I just don't agree. I do feel like Drew, yes, you could have worked with any other producer. Dennis approached her to work. They worked. They made a great album.
Yeah.
And Porsha could have been supportive and gone to the studio with them and joined it and chimed in for like a listening party. Like it could have been a positive experience. It really didn't have to take this turn. Drew said that Porsha was cool with it, then she flipped. And Shamea asked if Drew was dating Dennis. They turned it into, was she effing Dennis? And Shamea didn't appreciate that. And at the gym, they were coming in hot towards her. Yeah. Well, Angela didn't like how Shamea brought it up because Porsha told Shamea not to bring it up. And Porsha agrees with Angela that she didn't want Shamea to bring it up. And now Shamea is telling us that Portia's lying because she did not say that she had an issue with her bringing it up.
Here's my only issue, and then I'll let you go, Blair. The only issue I have with Drew with this whole Dennis storyline is literally from the first episode. Literally. From the first episode, we got over 15 episodes of this season. I only have a problem from the first episode to how she was describing her relationship with Dennis, right? Yeah. Right? If you are in a working relationship with Dennis and things like that, you could easily just say that. But this whole, like, he's my shining light, he's my angel that saved me from... It came off as... if it was my first time hearing it, it does sound like more than what it actually is.
Or you're trying to make it a gray area or smudge the line a little bit.
That's the only accountability that I give to Drew with that, to where it's like, it kind of seemed like you're being a little passive. You're kind of poking at it. Exactly, to your point. But eventually, we got like it coming out of both their mouths, of Dennis and Drew, that, hey, nothing is going on. Why did we get that in less than 5 episodes, but you still dragged it on throughout the whole season, Porsha?
Because she had nothing else to talk about.
That's
I mean, it's clear.
And that's the point. We can give Drew accountability of, hey, if you work with some people like this, do you talk about everybody you work with in like this glowing way? Probably not. Then okay, I can understand why Porsha may feel some type of way in episode 1, but by episode 4, she got clarity of what it was.
Yes.
Why did we have to keep going on 13 episodes more with that?
Porsha couldn't let it go.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about the Drew thing with that.
Andy asks Porsha if she thinks Drew deserves an apology. Porsha gets up. She goes over to Drew. She gives her a hug. And she also apologizes for meeting with Ralph. And she admits she did it to be petty. Because, during the season, she was talking about, I was going to meet up with Shamea, and I didn't know that Ralph was going to be there. And so yeah, we see your moves. We see.
Oh, yeah.
Porsha thinks that they could have talked through it, and she was in fight mode and was triggered every time Drew came around. Drew accepts the apology. And I will say, it is great to be a forgiving person and to accept people's apologies.
Okay, Blair.
But Miss Ma'am, I need about 5 apologies.
5?
every new lie you came up with, I need an apology for each lie as well as the Ralph lie.
That's fair.
I need one for every single thing, because you did a lot.
Hey,
you did a lot.
For one, if I was Drew, I would have been on guard seeing Porsha walk over to me like a robot.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Andy asks a question, and then she gets up and walks towards me. Now, we know Porsha don't have no problem keeping, her hands on other people. She ain't one to basically, listen, she said it as a joke. She said, when I have a bodyguard, it's to protect y'all. Listen, it's a joke, but it's kind of true. You know what I mean? I saw you throwing plates. But you know what I would have liked to see? The truth came out, at least eventually, when Porsha talking about, I did do it to be petty. Hey, Shamea, how come you didn't get up and apologize to Drew? Because y'all talk about business, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a little podcast episode y'all got.
So it was definitely something you and Porsha concocted. So, Shamea, you can stand up.
Shamea, stand up. Shamea, stand up. You know what I'm saying? And apologize, because you was wrong. Yeah. But yet, you want to over here and be mad that we calling you a lapdog. But when you do lapdog activity, literally you barking on the show. Obviously, now you want to sit over there as first chair with a face long. You listen, as first chair, you ain't talking enough for me this episode. But, we go get to that in part 2. But, hey, Shamea, stand up with Porsha and give Drew a hug and apologize too. Because the truth came out. I really don't understand why Shamea was still sitting down, but it is what it is.
So we get into Kelly. She extended her stylist to Britt for that one moment, but not for the entire season with her entire team.
Yeah.
We did learn that Britt was paying for the services that she got. But for Kelly, it felt like she was jealous. Well, Kelly felt like she was trying to take her life, so to speak.
Then don't offer it to me.
Porsha said that Britt said that it felt like Kelly was jealous of her. Kelly is not jealous. And Britt apparently said that the newbies had an alliance and they were going to take Porsha down. Shamea chimes in and explains that Porsha was part of the alliance because she didn't want Kelly and Britt to come at Porsha so hard. Porsha says, honestly, alliances ruin shows, and she wasn't part of any type of alliance.
Do you believe that Porsha was part of the alliance?
No.
Me neither.
And the reason I don't is because it sounds crazy.
Yes.
Because clearly, Shamea, if you didn't want them going hard at Porsha, then there was a conversation, a meeting, an alliance where Porsha was not in, to where an intention was set. Yeah. But because you're Porsha's friend, you tried to pull her into the fold so that way they could chill out with that. Yeah. But the alliance was still there. That intention was still there from the beginning.
Porsha, we know what it looks like when Porsha is in an alliance. Listen here, for the longest before Cynthia came outside, it was just them two sitting over there. Everything that Phaedra was saying, she's basically saying she's basically doing my job. She's basically reviewing the reunion because she only filmed for 10 days, so she ain't really got much to add. But yeah, it just didn't make no sense to me with the whole alliance. Porsha was part of it. I love the fact that Angela kept saying allegiance, and guess what? it's allegiance. If Andrew want to say it's allegiance, it's allegiance.
We'll go with it. Why not? So Kelly hates that she supported the side baby comment. She does apologize to Angela. It was also dark, Andy is saying, when Britt brought up the abortions.
Yes.
Kelly said that she never told that to Britt. It was a conversation taken to her probably by her stylist, which wasn't true, because after Kelly had her twins that were born with some health issues, she decided to have her tubes tied.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying that I'm glad that Britt's not here, because we would be getting red herrings all over the place.
That's true.
A lie here, a lie there, a yelling here, and they took my license here and all this other different types of stuff. And it's just like, I kind of want to stay on track with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm glad that she's not here.
Here's my only thing about it. It's I understand that we may be getting some lies here and lies there, but I don't want to hear one side of stories either, though. You get what I'm saying? Like,
but I guess my point is that like Britt is never going to like come out with a fleshed out side.
But Kelly also, like, what is Kelly's?
She at least has a side to say. Like, Britt is all over the place.
That's fair.
So Kelly is officially divorced. She spent around $200,000 for her divorce.
Woo.
Porsha says that Kelly may have had her bodyguard around for the show's sake because her ex isn't actually coming for her. And Kelly says that's not true. Kelly apparently was sued because she owed over $100,000 for this new business, for the chicken and waffles, the new location. And she did pay them a good amount, and they will be opening soon. And she admits she didn't have the money for them because she was paying for her divorce. Her spending her money on her dogs, bags for her daughter, she believes are necessary expenses.
What is your thoughts on this? This is what made me kind of take a turn with Kelly.
Yeah, I feel like, number one, with the bodyguard situation, I don't even think Porsha needed to pipe up or chime in about whether or not Kelly had a bodyguard for her ex or not.
I think was this the scene where they was talking about also getting a restraining order? Or
yeah, like why you need a restraining order and all that stuff. Yeah.
The question was, why don't you get a restraining order?
She does have one,
but she said she didn't.
No, she has a restraining order. They were saying that, well, you can get a restraining order. You need it by cause. And Phaedra was explaining that anything can be cause. If the person doesn't show up for court, that can be cause.
Oh, I didn't read it that way. I read it as, hey, if someone is really
no, because during the season, remember, she had a restraining order. I understand that.
So I understand that. But I'm going by what the reunion. Maybe I misunderstood it and things like that. But I took it as when she was explaining about her restraining order type of thing, Phaedra was like, not true. Like basically saying like it's not that complicated to get a restraining order. Like you can get one. Like
I think they were saying by the fact that the bodyguard may or may not be around because of the ex coming for her. They're saying like, well, he may not have been coming for you because it's not hard to get a restraining order. Maybe. If he didn't show up to court, then you could have got a restraining order and he wasn't coming for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not y'all's place. Just the same way that Shamea went through her DV situation and people didn't believe her, and now that person coming all these years to apologize with this situation with Kelly and her ex, and she's saying that he's coming after her. Y'all don't know what is actually going on, and I don't know who y'all are talking to. So.
Well, here's the thing. I think when it comes down to it, I think they feel like a lot of things that Kelly do is for show. The thing that Kelly is accusing Britt for, they are accusing Kelly for. Okay. They are accusing, hey, you trying to live this lavish lifestyle to where even your dog get facials and things of that nature, but yet you're not paying rent. Like basically when it comes down to your bills, you're not paying the landlords and things like that. And you may blame it on your whole divorce and things of that nature costing $200,000, but your glam squad was talking about how they was getting late payments too. So they basically coming at her, basically saying you're not as legitimate as you may make it seem.
And I think the ex-husband shouldn't be part of that conversation.
Maybe not. You get what I'm saying? But I think they basically made it seem like, hey, you having your own bodyguard, I think they was trying to allude to the fact that, hey, we are filming a show. There are other like guards and producers and people here that Bravo hired for us specifically already. For you to have your own personal bodyguard on top of you being basically protected by the show, I think they just coming at that. Basically making it seem like you're trying to make it seem like you're a bigger deal than what you really are.
I guess, but I still wouldn't put it on Bravo to protect her because Kenya felt unsafe with Britt there.
That's true.
And they over here did this investigation and said she didn't have anything on her when the investigation was after the fact and nobody checked her while she was there. So, hey, but I do think that when it comes to her money situation, I honestly she got to figure out her money situation the best way she can. If she got to go to court and pay all this type of stuff, then I do think that she needs to cut back on some of the unnecessary spending. I don't think her daughter needed 16 designer bags for her 16th birthday. She could have done something like going on a trip, and that could have been $2,000 or something like that for her daughter, and it would have been just as impactful because she knows that she has all these other expenses.
But Andy asked her directly. He said, "Dude, like, is all this necessary?" She said, "Yes, all of it's necessary."
Yeah, and I disagree.
Yeah, me too.
So Shamea says that she did not stir the pot between Britt and Kelly's relationship. She was actually trying to mediate.
Stop it. No, you wasn't. No, you was not.
Yeah.
There was no part there was no point or no part that we seen on the show that Shamea was playing as a mediator. Not at all.
Kelly doesn't see herself being friends with Britt again. Britt looks successful, but she can't really say that Britt is successful. She honestly doesn't know where Britt gets her money, and also Britt didn't reciprocate in the friendship.
Well, that's fair.
Now we get to Angela's package. We start talking about how Marcus said Phaedra put him up to bring in Charles cheating up. Angela explains that it's a pattern with Phaedra. She has some receipts, and apparently Marcus's aunt went to high school with Phaedra's older brother. So her thing is like, there is a link. You do know this lady, and it's possible that you got him to be put up to this.
Okay.
Phaedra keeps standing on the fact that she does not know this guy. Porsha's piping up during this as well. And Porsha's like, honestly, with your history with Phaedra, I don't see why you're so quick to take her side. And Porsha says that, he's lying in between trying to tell you what happened. So she just doesn't believe what this Marcus character is saying. And I will say, Porsha, you know when to be quiet when it comes to defending Shamea.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you can't decide to be quiet when it comes to the Phaedra situation. You've allowed Phaedra to walk you down some dark paths, and you probably was walking hand in hand with her down them dark paths. So do I think that Phaedra has done this? I don't. And I don't think that Angela's proof is enough of like legitimate proof. We don't have no text messages or DMs or, fax receipts or whatever, Heather said on Salt Lake City, but we don't have all of that stuff. So what you're saying is, what do they call it? Circumstantial. Circumstantial. And it doesn't hold up in the court of Blair.
Okay. Right.
Hit my gavel.
My thing, it doesn't matter. I think what happens is, this is just to make up. In my opinion, the way I viewed this scene, this was to make up for the scene that Charles messed up in the finale. Basically, when she was trying to do the gotcha moment, now she's trying to do the gotcha moment. Charles, make sure y'all keep Charles in the back, okay? I'm gonna pull out a folder, and I'm gonna say, "Is this your sister? Is this your brother?" Okay, they all went to the same school, and to me, even with that, it still all just falls flat to me, because at the end of the day, okay, Phaedra did it, right? Phaedra done much worse things. Like this is not. Like, there's nothing, like, it's one thing if you was trying to, like, show light or shed light on a good person, basically saying, like, they really a bad person, but we already don't think highly of Phaedra. Yeah. So even if she was to do it and things like that, we'd be like, yeah, it sounds like Phaedra. And even if she is proven that she didn't do it, we'd be like, okay, she may not have done this, but she gonna do something else. Right. So it's like, it's one thing if you was to actually show and be like, it was you, Drew. We'd be like, whoa. Yeah. That's, y'all was friends, you know what I mean? But Phaedra, it's like
maybe not.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, it's still not a great lie to put out there. Yeah. Because if Angela did believe it, and if she is struggling with trusting her husband, that could be a detriment to them and their family. Yeah. So that's not a cool lie. But honestly, I think this person came out the woodworks and wanted to find their way on television. I don't think anybody sent him. I think he sent himself.
Do you think so?
I do. I don't know why they can't just look at that as an option.
Hey, listen. Let us know what y'all think about this reunion. I thought, listen here, it gotta pick. If it's gonna be 3 parts, they can't give us all the juicy stuff in the first part. I can't wait to get down to the whole Porsha versus Shamea thing. Shamea did not say a lot. She didn't even control the reunion and things like that. But maybe she do it in the second part. But in to Blair's point, in the first part, we did not see Porsha's intention be flushed out at all.
It didn't manifest at all.
No. So maybe it will flush itself out in part 2 and part 3. Yeah. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.